The younger boyfriend confessed coquettishly at his friend's drinking table. "Sister, I don't want to work hard anymore." In the midst of crowd coaxing, we got engaged on the spot. Since then, everyone in the circle knows that I have a little fiancé who got married as soon as he graduated. But on the day we made an appointment to go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to get the certificate, he suddenly cut off the connection and left me alone. Until he felt that I had calmed down, he came back and knelt down to apologize. I helped him up and comforted him. "Anyway, you are just the groom's younger brother. If you don't come, don't come." 1. Green Tea, who didn't deal with me, posted a video in the friend group and took pictures of me. It was my boyfriend who lost the game. He is bowing his head and kissing the instep of a woman in high heels. Oh my God. Isn't this your little fiancé? Your mouth won't infect any dirty diseases, will it? My heart tightened. The video was very clear, and even the small movements were familiar to me. Today is his birthday. We originally made an appointment to eat Leo according to his preferences. I went to the appointment on time with the gift, but he said that he was called to work by the temporary guide. I called him, but no one on the other side answered. Remembering that he also had a twin brother, I asked one more question in the chat group. "Are you sure it's him?" At this moment, Green Tea sent another ID photo. Shinjuanza in 2002. He is right. The nightclub is active tonight, and the audience is full of male college students checking their ID cards. Or I wouldn't have come to such a small field to play. Sit at different tables for each major. Your fiancé is from the sports center, right? I was speechless when asked. It's a shame, and I'm angry that I can't refute it. Suddenly, a bowl of prepared base material was placed in front of me. Shin Junqian had the same face as my boyfriend, dressed as a waiter with a gentle smile. "Sister, are you coming to eat Leo alone?" I haven't reacted yet. He has tied the apron for me. "My brother didn't come to accompany you?" 2. I was just about to answer when my boyfriend called me. "You really have the face to call me back." I waved to his brother and asked him to go first. "Calm down and connect the phone." "Sister, the noise was too loud just now. I didn't hear your exclusive ringtone." "I'm sorry." I took a deep breath and asked him, "Didn't you say that the guide has something to do with you?" "Yes, but I was pulled over by them and found out that it was the birthday surprise prepared for me." "Surprise is that you kiss other women's feet?" "Sister, you won't send someone to follow me, will you?" "We're just joking. I still have a tissue on my mouth. Young people are playing like this now." He explained carelessly, as if I was making a big deal out of it. Thinking of secretly taking pictures of his green tea in the nightclub, I didn't want to give her more laughter. I took a step back. "Today is your birthday. I don't want to quarrel with you. You get out of there first." The music in the mobile phone was noisy, but his silence was clear. "I have promised you to get married after graduation. Do you have to be so strict with me? You know, your tone just now is very similar to my mother." 3. That sentence woke me up like a basin of cold water. The gap diluted by time pushed me into the abyss at that moment. It turns out that from the beginning to the end, it will be so fast and so cruel. The first time I saw him was in the middle of the night. My car broke down, so I took a taxi temporarily, but he was pulled to a remote area and threatened to blackmail. He rode a motorcycle and happened to pass by the convoy. Seeing that I was pulled by someone, I gave up the game, turned the corner and punched the obscene driver. The wild impulse of teenagers is the poison of a woman who is almost 30 years old. Girls come home late. Remember to wear weapons to defend yourself, especially if you are beautiful. On the viaduct, the convoy was empty. He beat the only driver until he can't get up. I thanked him and wanted to call the police to send myself home. He stopped me. "I saved you and you still want to send me in?" He pointed to the red driver on the ground. I looked at him at a loss for a moment. He took off his helmet and put it on my head. "Let's go, little girl. I'll take you home. I'm old to be your mother." I don't like his slyness. The teenager smiled brightly. "Let's go, Mom. I'll go home with you." The bullets that year were shocked. Still 3 years apart. It's right in the center of my eyebrows. 4. Let's break up, Shinjuanza. I don't know if it was my illusion, but there was a gentle cut sound. "Sister, the signal here is not good. I can't hear what you're saying." Don't think nonsense. I will definitely marry you. I love you, my future wife." The deafening music stopped abruptly. I remember that he kissed someone else's feet on the mouth and called me wife. I felt nauseous in my heart. My younger brother, who was 8 years older at that time, suddenly proposed to me at the bar. Surrounded by the voice of envy and promise him. I was impulsive and really agreed. Not only did it spread in the circle, but even my grandfather, who had always been unmarried because I was old, also added my name to his will. Looking at my mother, who has only given birth to my daughter over the years and has not been treated by the elders, she raised her eyebrows and exhaled at home. I thought he would bring me a lucky destination. Unexpectedly, this marriage agreement, which was easily agreed upon, became his death-free gold medal. I was so considerate to report in the morning and evening, But I was a little busy and didn't check my mobile phone. If you ask more questions, you will think I'm verbose. Sometimes even I think I'm too verbose and I hate myself more and more. I force myself to change myself to believe in him and our relationship for more than 3 years. I thought it was just a boy who was going to get married early, so he wanted to hurry up and have fun. I just realized it today. I was so wrong. If you really want to marry me, how can you compromise with me? Point 5. In the group chat of friends, Green Tea is still sending videos. On the dance floor, he was half drunk and half awake. Several young girls in cool clothes surrounded. Lift his t-shirt, and the long manicure scrapes his distinct abdominal muscles. While whispering something, he laughs so happily. I'm in the group. Your boyfriend is really good at twisting. He practices a lot at home, right? There is such a good thing, why didn't you share it with your sisters? You treat us as outsiders. Sister, you eat so well. The people who watched the jokes were almost the same as the people who blessed and envied me at that time. I didn't leave the group. Soberly bear the consequences of his stupidity at that time. Remember these ridicules and teach yourself a lesson. By the way, I sent a WeChat message to Chan Juansa. We broke up so we can get together and break up. There are people I know next to me. Don't embarrass me. Don't force me to scold you. After sending the message, I didn't plan to wait for his reply. Directly black it. Scan the code to order food and order all the wines on the wine list for yourself. When he first met, he taught my girl to come home late and wear weapons to defend herself. It is used to get drunk when breaking up, which makes you feel more secure. 6. It's troublesome to drink alone. It's easy to spill wine when you're slightly drunk. The cup is always shaking. Fortunately, someone helped me. Thank you. I didn't look up. I didn't want to see the same face as my ex-boyfriend. If you come alone, Hey DeLeo can send a bear. I pointed to the empty opposite and told him, give me the biggest one. Shin Junqian didn't leave and sat on the opposite side. I can't avoid it. This handsome face that I like is so annoying to look at. Are you a bear? He took out the brown bear ears in his pocket and put them on his head. Well, I'm the biggest one in the store. Alcohol makes my reaction a little slow. I don't have much intersection with him. It's just that when I didn't know that my boyfriend was twins, I accidentally flirted with him once. When I saw him later, I felt a little guilty. I'm in a bad mood today. I want to be alone. The sound outside the string can't be more obvious. As if he couldn't understand, he pushed the screenshot of his mobile phone to show me. The above is the chat record of this afternoon. My boyfriend is ready to make an appointment with me in the evening. Tell his brother that if I get angry, he will help me coax me. What kind of guide was looking for it temporarily and was cheated by a friend? It's just too lazy to deal with me. I still prepare gifts in advance like a fool. I carefully selected clothes and did my hair. Thinking about tonight, let's ease the faded feelings during this period. He doesn't deserve your sadness. I'm the last one to know about this matter. I sneered when I heard it. So, do you deserve it? I picked up the wine bottle and poured a new green plum wine. But the mouth of the cup was blocked. Can you consider me? 7. I'm drunk and I'm not crazy. Shen Junqian looked at the big-tailed fox who looked like a bear, which was obviously much more cunning than his brother. With the same face, you still want me to fall twice. My brother said that you like this face very much. It's annoying to watch it for a long time. I lie without blinking. He pretended not to understand the refusal and continued to sell. My brother has nothing to do, so he chose sprinting in college. I'm a long-distance runner, and my endurance is better. The same chocolate ice cream with crushed hazelnuts and without it is always the same. I think he is the one who drinks too much. Remind him, I'm your brother's girlfriend. So it can also be mine, right? Why doesn't it May? I was impatient. I got up and wanted to pay the bill and leave, but I saw the call Shinjuanza on his mobile phone. Stop the action and look at him as if you were watching a drama. Didn't you bravely pry the wall just now? Shin Junqian didn't panic as I imagined. He looked at me and answered the phone. Hey brother. My girlfriend is going to break up with me. Is she gone? If you don't leave, please stop it for me. I'll go there when I'm done. I won't help you. Why? Because I want your girlfriend. I rushed over and disconnected his phone. Look at him in shock. 8. There are so many people around and he is still so loud. Unexpectedly, he asked me, are you afraid he will be jealous? I didn't wait for me to sort out his thinking and then he said, then we can do it quietly. What's quiet? I can do what he can do, and I can do what he can't do. Can you try me? I remember those advertisements for 7-day no reason return. My brain is in a mess. Shen Juan's chat records in the afternoon are still on the table, as if they were deliberately put there for me. His brother's phone came in again. I don't know why, but I didn't have enough confidence last time. He looked at me fixedly, and his eyes were full of loneliness. If you really like my brother, you can treat me as him. I didn't answer. He pressed the external playback and connected the phone. A drunken voice came from the opposite side. I just dropped the line. What did you say in the last sentence? Is my girlfriend gone? Let's go. Go somewhere else to find her. He looked at me and answered, it's really troublesome. Let's talk about it tomorrow. I was so impatient on the other side of the phone that I even forgot to hang up the phone until a charming female voice came out. Shin Junqian hung up the phone. I suddenly felt that his brother was also quite good. 9. I put down my bag and sat back. Take advantage of the alcohol and talk carelessly. It's not impossible to be a stand-in. Really. There is a clear expectation in his eyes. The double is so happy that I thought he was so smart. I cleared my throat and finished my thoughts before I opened my mouth. Everyone is an adult just taking what they need. Let me talk about my needs first. I took the posture of negotiation and took the lead. Set up a small teacup and pour the first cup of green plum wine. First of all, I need a contract husband. I will graduate in June and get a certificate. I will divorce when I get the inheritance. During this period you have to pretend to be your brother to deal with my grandfather. He has met Shin Juanza. In return, I can give you 5% of the marital property. Yes, but I don't want money. He readily agreed and raised his head to drink the first cup. Don't want to make money? That I poured the second glass of green plum wine and continued. Secondly, I need a boyfriend who can handle it. In front of my friends you may have to bow your head and be a minister. Okay, I'll follow the order. He drank the second cup with his eyes. Don't want to show face? I couldn't figure out his routine and slowly fell down the third cup. In the end, I won't fulfill any girlfriend duties. He looked paused and the wine glass he was holding turned around. Negotiation is a coming and going. I deliberately said something and waited for the other party to find out. Unexpectedly, he just hesitated and almost drank with a headache. Good. I nodded and pretended to ask casually, what about you? Tell me what you want. I want a chance to become a regular. 10. The heartbeat is empty for 2 beats. I said in a daze, it's okay. Anyway, there are many wonders in the world. There should be clear standards. This time he doesn't look good at talking. What standard? If I make you satisfied, I will become a regular score of 20 points at a time and a full score. I picked up the green plum wine he poured, and then he asked, why did you become a regular? You man. Cough cough cough. Do you have to be so straightforward? Everyone is an adult. They probably don't know how to talk. He has bare ears on his head, but his expression is like a male fox. I weighed the pros and cons. I'm so picky that there's almost nothing that can satisfy me. Thinking so, the initiative is still in my hands. Of course what you say is good. I did it. After drinking this cup, it can be regarded as a drink. The group is still pretending to discuss whether I have been cheated on. Shin Juanza is comparing with a long-legged beauty with each other. These people are usually jealous of me, so they really caught the opportunity. I pulled Shin Junqian into the WeChat group. Everyone, this is my boyfriend. I have to avoid suspicion about the twin brother. If you are too greedy, you can set a group to follow stars. The group exploded in an instant and I didn't expect that I would really make a sound. Oh hey, the twins are out. Does his mother know? Ha 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 ha. Shin Junqian took a family photo of his family of 4 in the group. Of course my mother knows. He also sent a picture of me secretly from his perspective. Thank you for your concern. If you don't believe it, you can add my sister's Happy Bear video at any time. The group message that had just been fried suddenly stopped. I held my mobile phone and smiled. How's it going? Are you satisfied? I had a cup happily. Satisfied. Then he remembered that he got the first 20 points. 11. I was careless. He smiled like a fishy vixen. But unexpectedly it's quite beautiful. I don't want him to be too proud and ask for his student ID card and ID card indifferently. Not only did I get a discount, but I also received a bunch of birthday gifts. I took all the photos and sent them to the group one by one. If you want to eat Heideleo in the future, you can borrow my boyfriend's student ID card. I'm busy at night. Don't bother me. All members don't disturb me. Shin Junqian followed. Don't let me +1. I just found that he changed his group nickname. My WeChat name is Xiongxiong. The group was completely quiet. I came out of the bathroom in a happy mood and overheard Shin Junqian on the phone. Mom, I really have something to do. His words were interrupted, and the woman on the phone suddenly cursed loudly. Blame him for not controlling his brother's drinking. I have to ask him to pick up his brother dozens of kilometers away and send him back to school. Isn't it because your dead father taught you such a thing to our mothers? I shouldn't have given birth to you. I remembered that it was Shin Juanza's mother's voice. When he first saw me, he was so weak that he couldn't breathe. He has been repeatedly emphasizing how difficult it was for him to divorce, and how pitiful and filial Shin Juanza is, unlike his father's other son who is cold-blooded. The mother on the phone is like 2 people. Shin Junqian just raised his head and leaned against the wall dejectedly. It seems that I am used to swearing bad words by my biological mother. When he found me coming out, He immediately hung up his mobile phone and put it in his pocket like a bad student who was caught in a bag. He smiled gently and said, "Hello, I'll take you home." I am inexplicably familiar with that look. 12. I didn't ask him about the phone. After all, it's someone else's family, so it's not easy for me to interfere. On the way, he was obviously not as happy as before, but he insisted on giving me cheerful emotional value. Sending me to the door of the house all the time, I hesitated whether to let him come in and rest. But he joked with me first. "You're so procrastinating. You're not trying to trick me in and eat me dry." I saw his handsome face that owes me a beating, which dispelled my sympathy for him. Enter the door cleverly by pressing the password. The light inside is on, and the room is full of the smell of wine. "Sister, you're finally back." Shan Juanza hugged his legs and squatted on the ground in front of the shoe rack at the door. Seeing me coming back, he stumbled to his feet drunkenness. "I've been thinking about your anger all night, and I don't have the heart to play with them at all. Do you know what you are talking about?" I can't believe that he can lie so sincerely. Yes, it was a woman who may have misunderstood something and suddenly confessed to me, but at that moment I realized that you were the only person I liked. We're going to get married. Just believe me once. Don't be suspicious anymore, okay? He always speaks so righteously. Seems that his love is very valuable. I should be grateful to date. I took a step back to avoid him from grabbing my hand. Only then did I find that Shin Junqian didn't leave and stood behind me all the time. He just saw his brother behind me and sent me home. Suddenly he changed his intimate tone and talked to me. "By the way, baby, your friend came to me and showed me the group message. They actually said that my brother is your boyfriend, haha." As he said, holding the door frame with one hand, he suddenly pulled me back. "Brother, thank you for acting with my girlfriend." His muscles were secretly exerting force, and I couldn't break free from his restraint, and I didn't listen to him at all. I just raised my head to bite, but the force on my shoulder slowly withdrew. Shen Junqian was bringing his brother's arm, and moving away from my shoulder little by little. "What do you mean?" "She is allergic." I just found that my neck was red. The places he touched were all rashes. Shen Juanza let go in a panic and lowered his head to check, but was slapped away by his brother. How could it be like this? The stronger the hot feeling, the more uncomfortable my heart is. I'm allergic to inferior perfume. It seems that you have a lot of bargains tonight. Shen Junqian frowned and asked me, "Do you have any ointment at home?" Under the TV, after the younger boyfriend cheated on me, his twin brother came to me and applied to be a stand-in lover 39,103. He went to find the medicine. Shen Juanza didn't dare to get close to me anymore. He bowed his head guiltily and apologized in a muffled voice. "I'm sorry, baby. I don't know. Maybe I accidentally touched her when I pushed her away. I'm going to take a shower." When I told him to get out of here, he had already entered the bathroom. Two people who are too familiar. When breaking up, it's as difficult as pulling a silk and peeling a cocoon. 14. In the bathroom, the person who thinks he is my boyfriend is taking a shower. In the room, my ex-boyfriend's brother is taking medicine on my shoulder. He couldn't see it from behind and he said it was also red. "Wash your hands and apply them for me. It's so delicate that it's a little hot, from the inside to the outside. You're not taking the opportunity to take advantage of me, are you?" The hand on the back stopped. He got up and took the mirror on my dressing table and showed it to me. His eyes were full of helplessness. "I have endured it very hard, and my sister still slanders me." "I didn't ask you to endure." He was too fast talking and he felt ambiguous after saying it. "Really?" He leaned over and slowly approached me. "I mean, don't move. It's a little fierce, both the action and the person." He blocked my waist and raised it up to fix my posture. I want to push away, but I can't raise my strength. He brushed away the hair on my shoulder, and the place where my fingertips touched was cold and hot. "Soon, all right." He got up. "Ah," I asked in a daze. The door was closed. Shen Juanza came out after taking a shower and shouted to ask me where I was. Shen Junqian also knelt on my bed. Yuran asked me, "The medicine is good. Are you not satisfied?" I gritted my teeth and told him with a dark face, "I'm very satisfied. He is just a 40-point lover. I don't know what he is proud of." 15. In the living room, two identical 188 sports students stood side by side. I sat on the sofa and looked up for a long time and felt a little dizzy. "Sister, the dormitory is under a door." "Yes, sister, my brother is also here. Give me some face. Don't quarrel tonight." In a word, it is to ask for two. I'm already very sleepy. I don't want to be entangled or bother to refute. There are sofas and floors. You can do it yourself. I closed the door and ignored it. Unexpectedly, not long after, the projection screen in my room was turned out. We used to watch movies together. Shin Juan's mobile phone was automatically connected. I was awakened by the light and saw that he was looking through a girl's circle of friends. At 1 o'clock in the morning, look at it one by one. Save the beautiful selfie and enlarge the details of the swimsuit photo. My nausea also amplified. If you rush out now, it will be another meaningless quarrel. I sent a message to his brother to remind his brother. Not long after, Shin Juanza received the news of the girl on the screen. Jianghu emergency, I drank too much and feel dizzy. Can the hero come to pick me up? He replied in a second, it's too dangerous so late. Send me the address and I'll be there soon. I heard the sound of opening and closing the door gently outside. The screen projection is quiet. That I was curious to get out of bed and go out. Shin Junqian was lying on the floor alone with a small blanket. How did you do it? He looked up and said, that woman is very annoying. I've blacked her. Then what? I just pulled it back and told her that I had changed my number. Contact them. Mailfox. Are you satisfied? He tilted his head for praise. I shrugged my shoulders and praised him carelessly. Well, I'm quite satisfied. Go to sleep on the sofa. After saying that, he closed the door quickly. I ignored the high-profile good night sister outside the door. Reflect on yourself. So soon, he was fooled into a qualified lover. 16. The next morning, I was woken up by the sound of the phone over and over again. Hey, Mom. Yaya, your grandfather has just been rushed to the emergency room and mentioned you just now. Come here quickly and remember to pay attention to safety on the road. I hung up the phone and changed my clothes in a daze and in a panic. I just found out that Shin Junqian had got up early and was waiting for me after breakfast. I told him the situation, and he immediately decided to go to the hospital with me. On the way there may be one more person around, so I slowly calmed down. I remembered that the old man with a tough and bad temper who always argued with me before suddenly fell ill. My heart seems to have stepped on the air. Anxious and uneasy. Even the emergency room was found by Shan Junqian first. I followed him and bumped into his back unguardedly. He turned around and held my hand. I'm here, don't be afraid. I just found that I had been afraid of hearing bad news. That I adjusted my breathing and nodded. He went into the elevator with him. 17. There are a lot of people in the room. My aunt's family and my parents are here. Lying on the hospital bed, the old man who was weak and had a nasal tube lit up when he saw us. Hold on and wave and let us pass. I came forward but he blocked me. His name is Shen Junqian. He handed the thin folder at the head of the bed to Shen Junqian. The hoarse voice and the force is still intermittent. Sign it, join our family, give birth to a boy with my surname, and the money is all yours. I didn't know how ridiculous the worry just now was. It turned out that at this time, he still favored sons over daughters and just wanted a great-grandson. Dad, how can you be so biased? Sharaway is also your grandson. The aunt cried bitterly and questioned in a sharp voice. This is the bloodline of my son. He stubbornly grabbed Shin Junqian's hand and didn't let go. I held back the enthusiasm in my eyes, grabbed the pen on the cabinet with hatred, and handed it to Shin Junqian. Sign 3 words and the dust will settle. Tens of millions of family property is given to 1,000th of the aunt's family. The old man held his son-in-law's signature. He left with a smile without taking a closer look. He valued sons over daughters all his life. He thought it was crowded on the day of reunion, so he invited me and my mother to sit at the relatives' table. If you don't go, you will say that it's a daughter in the end. If you raise it, you won't be familiar with it. He interfered in my marriage. The men introduced were all for me to be full-time wives at home. I never went on a blind date again. He almost kicked me out of the house and changed my surname. Later, I didn't know where he heard that I was going to get married, and his attitude changed 180 degrees. I thought he had changed. But he is him. The sound of the monitor in the ward was mixed with the ants shouting and cursing. I didn't react. Shin Junqian was already in front of me. With a pop, he blocked my ant slap for me. I was so angry that I rushed forward to call back, but the room was in a mess. He picked me up and went out of the room to leave the mess. 18. The stairwell is very quiet. Shin Junqian held my shoulder worriedly and asked me if I was better. I looked at his red and swollen half face. I can't control my tears. Until he was held into the warm arms. 3 years ago, on the night when I was almost violated, there was also a man who appeared in time like a god. The tall man wearing a helmet who saved me is the same. Gently patted my back and coaxed me one by one. It's okay, it's okay. I slowed down and looked up from his arms. Shin Junqian, you. The question was interrupted by the sound of the phone. It was a call from the wedding dress shop. It turns out that today is the day when Shin Juanza and I have agreed for a long time to try on the wedding dress. We all forgot. The feelings faded and the big things became irrelevant. I just wanted to cancel. Shin Junqian snatched the phone. We'll be there soon. He took me to the wedding dress shop, quite unreasonable. I don't mind the style that was once tailor-made for his brother. I changed into a wedding dress. The curtains were opened and I looked at the person I liked, wearing a straight suit, and couldn't wait to get up from the sofa. His surprised expression was very exaggerated. You are really good. It's so beautiful. I was amused by his comedy. Shin Junqian, do you want to be more sincere? He just converged, his eyes became more and more sincere, and my heartbeat became faster. He walked towards me and took every step seriously. It was so affectionate that I thought he was coming to kiss me. Unexpectedly, he came over, knelt on one knee and held my left hand. Joa, are you really willing to marry me and let me be your bride? Hello. The tears in my eyes were teased by him again. It dilutes the sadness. Suddenly, the door of the fitting room was slammed open. A woman rushed in shouting and cursing. I should have strangled you directly when you were born. 19. The staff helped me to stop his mother's tearing. Yaya, you are mistaken. He is Juanza's brother. He pretends to be Juanza to take advantage of you. We called the police to arrest him and put him in jail. I can't believe that this is what my mother can think of. Auntie, I know who he is. I brought him here. You should ask your son where he is now. Obviously, she didn't regard Shin Junqian as her son at all. Juanza has something to do at the temporary school. Didn't you ask me to come? You are going to get married and you have to care about this little thing. How will you live in the future? I laughed while listening. The mother and son even made the same excuse. Shin Junqian secretly stood in front of me. Grandpa Xiaoya passed away today, and Shin Juanza has never been able to contact anyone. She felt a little guilty, but she still argued. Why can't I get in touch? I can get in touch. You must be secretly playing tricks and destroying their feelings. When Juanza comes, I will ask him to teach you a good lesson. The more she said, the more strange she became. Yaya, you are too easy to be deceived by him. You didn't have such a lady's temper before. The shopping guide next to me couldn't stand it. Auntie, we also couldn't contact Mr. Shun before we asked you. If you could really contact him, wouldn't you bring someone here? She was very angry. When she saw the security guard coming in, she restrained and stamped her feet. I'll contact Juanza now. Then please go outside. This is the exclusive locker room for VIP guests. The shopping guide politely guides the way. 20. Until she was asked out by the security guard. Shin Junqian, who stood in front of me, seemed to have just experienced a fierce battle. The spine, which has always been tight, is a little loose. I just found that he, who seemed to be able to handle everything maturely, would also be nervous and afraid. He took good care of me, calmed me down and had a strong sense of security. It all made me forget that he was only the same age as Shin Juanza. Others call me brother. Turn him into an adult who wants to go to heaven and earth. When Shin Junqian turned around, he had hidden the sadness in his eyes, leaving only tenderness and apology. He didn't cry or shed tears, but I could feel the sadness of his silence. He brushed the hole on my wedding dress that had just been scratched between the pushes, and his voice was lonely. I'm sorry for tearing such a beautiful skirt. I took off the lily on his chest in his suit. It's just that you can't be in a bad place. It's seamless. I just thought this flower was beautiful, but now it's mine. He is easy to coax and he laughs when I say a word. I think he has a beautiful smile and I want to coax him more. Shin Junqian, I'm very satisfied. I'm very satisfied with you. Say it clearly twice. He was stunned and didn't dare to be sure what I meant. Even the surprise was careful. I didn't do anything. Why? Because from today on, I decided to favor you. Her mother prefers her younger brother, and my grandfather prefers her grandson. People are destined to be biased. From today on, I will be partial to you. 21. Until the end of that day, no one contacted Shin Juanza. His mother didn't know when she sneaked away, and didn't even say hello. The mother and son broke off the connection together. Shin Juanqian's lover's internship period ended, and he became a regular. When adults talk, sometimes it counts, sometimes it doesn't. We chose a time when he didn't have classes at school, and he officially met with my parents. On the day of the meeting, he dressed too formally to be more formal. The location is a carefully selected high-end hotel. He got up in the early morning and made himself look like a lame adult with a serious face. I don't know what he is doing, just like an ant on a hot pot. I just saw it on the dining table. He used the official format of the thesis to print out the kind to me in the future. Black words on white paper are written clearly. Give it to my parents respectfully in 2 copies. It made my mother's eyes red. My father was also moved by his official, so he took out my household registration book and handed it to him formally. A wedding banquet made me cry. Mom and Dad, don't be taken away by him. He will give me a son in the future. You too should be happy. My mother patted my thigh. You girl, you talk nonsense. After saying that, he began to explain to him my spoiled temper. Shin Junqian consciously stood up to toast. Dad, Mom, Yaya's temper, I'm so willing. I will try my best to spoil her in the future. 22. He completely touched my parents. He urged us to get the certificate directly on the same day. At the door of the Civil Affairs Bureau, I was holding the marriage certificate with our names written on it, and I was in a trance. He looked aside and bent his eyes with a smile. I always feel that I have been kidnapped by him. To be honest, when on earth did you start plotting against me? It's very early. Sure enough, In front of everyone on the street, he legally hugged me in his arms. When you came to school to watch him play basketball and deliver water to him. From the time you used this finger to smear the cake on the tip of his nose and smiled. From the time I saw you sitting in the back seat of the motorcycle I gave him and hugging his waist. Every minute and every second, I'm thinking about how to snatch you here. My cheeks were hot until I found something wrong with his words. The motorcycle you gave him? He hummed. It's the first time I've seen you a little unscrupulous car. I was stunned. After that night, I met the motorcycle with that license plate again. I chased him all the way to the school and asked who it was. On the basketball court. I found Shinjuinza and asked him if he still remembered me. He said he remembered that he had saved my life in his last life. It turned out that he and I were wrong from the beginning. The face under the helmet that night was completely clear at this moment. The people in front of me didn't know why I suddenly cried. Apologized repeatedly in a panic. I buried my head in his chest. Thank you for snatching me here and I'm sorry. Sorry. I lost you before. 23. Shinjuinza appeared again half a month after I got married. I have already cancelled his permission to enter and leave my community. He came into my office under his brother's name. If I don't say I'm my brother, won't I see you in my whole life? Shinjuinza looked haggard. His eyes were distracted, and he was extremely depressed. Looking at it now, they are already very different. We're done long ago. Please get out. I wanted to stand up and open the door, but he grabbed my hand and knelt in front of me. Sister, I know that I couldn't be with you when your grandfather passed away, and the agreed days didn't come. It's all my fault. But I'm really stuck in something else. Can you give me another chance? I shook off his hand and asked him to get up. Anyway, you are just the groom's younger brother. If you don't come, don't come. He didn't seem to understand what I meant. I married your brother. The people on the ground reacted for a while. I don't believe it. You did this to make me angry, right? I just wanted to deal with it casually and kick him out. The false door opened and Shinjunqian came in quietly. He stood quietly at the door and stared at his brother's behavior. Thinking of what he said, he wanted to rob me every minute. I suddenly felt a little nervous. In the past few days, he has proved with practical actions that he is not lying. I said seriously to Shinjuinza, I'm not a child. I won't be angry about marriage. I can understand that you are not ready to get married. Let's get together and break up. I gave each other the most decent steps. He shook his head and refused. I'm ready. We agreed to wait for me and get married when I graduate. Have you forgotten? You are angry for a moment. You obviously love me, so you want to marry someone who looks like me. I don't mind your angry behavior. Let's start over. The more he said, the crazier he became. Suddenly he got up and grabbed my wrist. He was immediately stopped by Shinjunqian and pressed to the ground. Soon the place where he touched it appeared rash again. He didn't even wash the hands of other women before he came to see me. My broken 3-year relationship is like glass slag mixed with rotten garbage. It hurts and is disgusting. The company security guard kicked him out. Shinjunqian looked at the red on my wrist distressfully. There is no ointment in the office. I comforted him that he was fine and randomly found a disinfectant wipe. He lowered his head and kissed the red. Suck me pitifully and hold me in your arms. There will be no next time. 24. I didn't know until I saw the school's announcement. It turned out that Shinjuinza received the drunken girl on WeChat that night. The two went straight to the hotel. Unfortunately, I encountered a surprise inspection by the police. The two of them said each other's names wrong. An active offender was caught. The girl knew that he was not his brother and sued him for sexual assault. His mother disappeared with him, and she was also looking for connections everywhere to find him. If the law doesn't talk about human kindness, the stain is the stain. It's the same in society, and it's the same in feelings. If it's dirty and irreparable. His university canceled his graduation certificate because he had a bad record. He will never graduate. Shin Juanqian's mother didn't go to his graduation ceremony. Just like the divorce at the beginning, under financial pressure, she only chose one of the twins to take away. She locked the other one at home. Lock your conscience there forever. The newly formed family was not happy. She had no financial resources, so she went to scatter her ex-husband. After the death of her ex-husband, she was left to the son of her ex-husband. Therefore, Shin Junqian has been working for 4 years of college. He supports his mother and his other brother. My mother's heart was about to break when she heard it. He forced me and my father to dress up and congratulate her son-in-law on his graduation. It was sunny that day, and the sun was not dazzling at all. My husband, wearing a handsome bachelor's robe, stood out in the crowd. The bachelor's robe of sports students is pink. It contrasts well with him, just like a peach blossom blooming for a male fox. He bent down to accept the headmaster's pick. When he came down, he hugged my parents first, then picked me up and turned around. At that moment, my heart was about to jump out. Just like that night, he rode a motorcycle to carry me and left the whole world behind. Happiness may go round and round, but it will always return to the right person. Full text finished.